Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 2 of our page in Romantic Country. Got a load of pencil marks on there. I'll put a link up here to part 1 if you haven't managed to catch it. I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. This is our page so far, this little witch's cottage. So we'll get straight into it because I don't want to leave you hanging about. I've put my bit of thick acetate over there just because sometimes I press a bit hard and I don't want to spoil the pages behind. So I've got my black widows ready, which is what we used for part 1. And I think probably what we're going to do is I'm going to go in and do the woodwork on the witch's house. And yeah, let's take it from there. And the window maybe. All right. So if I bring you in. Let me just move my pencils. I've got some organised, ready to go, and I don't want to lose that. You know what I'm like? Bit dizzy. Okay. So, for the woodwork, I'm going a little bit different. I'm going to do like a blue-grey. So we bring some of this blue into the image. So I've got, from darkest to lightest, I've got Zephyr Blue. I've got Dark Night. They will be on screen, but just running through them. Cobblestone and Grey Slate. So let's start with the door, why not? I'm going to take it, as I do, section by section, and we're going to start with grey slate. So I'm just going to lightly put the grey slate in. So it's going to be a sort of blue-grey. I didn't want to do more wood. I think we've got plenty of wood. So I'm just working it out bit by bit. Like I said in part 1, these pages can seem really overwhelming, but if you just pick sections out that you know what the colours they've got to be, you know, like the tree we've done, the sky we've done, sort of the obvious colours, then the rest will just come as you go along. You know, you sit there thinking about it. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my Zephyr Blue, and I'm just going to give that a really quick sharpen. 1 second. Excuse the arm. There we go. So this is Zephyr Blue, and as we did with the tree, I'm going to follow the lines. So we get that, still keep a kind of grain look to it. Going to come up round those hinges. And we can deepen it up later. Bit cautious around the house because I haven't decided what the plaster work is going to be on our house yet. I might just do it a sort of a paler colour, I'm not sure. Or we might just go the whole hog and have dark greys, so it's gloomy and miserable. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going up the hinge side here. Get that nice and dark there. Bring that down a bit. And like I said before, we can always go back in and add more colour, which I usually do. Excuse me. And I'm going in with Dark Night. And as we did with the tree, I'm going to follow the colour we've already put down and start to bring that out. So this tones down that blue and makes it deeper and greyer. I'm actually really impressed with how these pencils work on this paper. They're vibrant. They blend easily. They just sort of glide on it. It's really interesting. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of cobblestone and bring that out too. Don't forget we have to go back in with our, what was our palette? Slate. That's slate grey, is it? Yeah, I have to go back in with slate grey, so we don't want to do too much, but this will just help us transition and soften that edge into that slate grey. And then slate grey, back over the top. So it kind of looks old and shabby. A bit like it could do with a good coat of paint. There we go. Let's do another one together. Let's do this one. So I'm just, as I do with my colouring, if there is sections to do it in, that's how I'll do it, rather than trying to do one massive shape all at once. For me, it keeps it neater, it's easier to cope with, and you don't get overwhelmed. And there's less hand pain. So I'm going to go up to this bit. This is where this bit ends. So that's our blue slate in. Then we'll go back to our dark night and we'll start filling that dark in. Same as we did on the other side. Make sure that we keep those lines for our wood grain effect. Going to be darker there under that join. And then come down this side. So now all we've got left is our all our little fiddly bits, really, but they do take quite a bit of time to film because you need to see how I'm doing them, if you're following along, that is. So it might be, we might, for the first time ever, I think, might have to have 3 parts. We'll see. Let's just see how we get on, shall we? Okay, then now we move on to Zephyr Blue. We backtrack over that grey. Have I done that wrong? No. No, I've not. It's just that when you go over it, it just brings out that colour more. There we go. I think I did do it wrong, folks. It should have been the other way around, but never mind. Okay, now we're in with cobblestone. Don't forget to leave that space for that slate grey. And I want it to look shabby. So that's the plan, is it looks like it could do with a darn good coat of paint. There we go. I think that's going to look really cool. Okay, so that's how I'm going to finish the door off. We're going to do the window. Let's do that. Okay, I'll have to just do extra editing. This is a bit of a pain. I was going to... So... Oh, hang on a minute, Lucy. Come on, focus. All right, I'm just going to check the order of these. I did write it down because I reckon I just messed them up. Did I write it down? No, obviously not. So I reckon I've messed those up. I think it was Zephyr Blue. Yeah, I think it was Zephyr Blue, Dark Night, and then it should have been cobblestone, shouldn't it? So I'm going to do these bits of wood as well in that same fashion. I'm going to leave the tiles out. But so let's do that bit quickly. If you could see, I will bring you back down. There you go. So in with our grey slate. Light coat of that. Right, now let me get this right. It'll be on screen in the right order, but you know what I'm like. Zephyr Blue. So I'm going to go up here because it'll be darker round underneath those tiles. That'll make those tiles look like they're sort of protruding out a little bit more. Let's get that in. Okay, and then follow our wood grain. There we go, round here. Can you see? Was my hand in the way? I hope not. There we go. So I had this plan for a sort of ominous looking witch's cottage, but I'm not sure that I can do ominous. It's the more I do, well, the more I think about it, the more friendly it's kind of looking. A bit shabby, which is what I wanted, but more friendly maybe. Maybe she's not such a bad witch. was when I first started that I thought she was going to be. Right, Zephyr Blue. Put that in the right order, Lucy. Now it's Dark Night. Yes, that's better. I've got it in the wrong order. But it's worked out all right. There's no harm, no foul, as they say. So I'm following where we put the blue Zephyr in. I'm bringing that out. And remember, you've got that really an extra 2 colours to squash in there because we need to go back in with our... I keep forgetting. Our grey slate. So make sure you need enough space for that. And then in with our cobblestone, which will help us... I think I've got that wrong again, haven't I? Yeah, our cobblestone... Oh, what is going on? I think cobblestone is the darkest. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so let's go back over the dark spaces with cobblestone. So it's cobblestone, Zephyr Blue, and then Dark Night. I'm such an idiot today. I tell you why. We've had my windows replaced. We were supposed to do them last year, a whole 12 months ago, and they came and messed them up. So they've been here for the last 2 days, driving me mad with their drills and stuff. Right, now let's go back in with Zephyr Blue. Just blend over that. I do apologise, I am sorry. That's the trouble with... I've got the old Black Widows. The new Black Widows all have dipped ends, so you can see the colours. Whereas mine, I'm just staring at them, and they all look the same, unless they're like the Dragon set. And it gets very confusing. So my apologies. So in with our grey slate. I want to call it blue slate because it has that blue hue to it. Okay. Right, we're going to do another one. I'm going to try and get them in the right order this time. So I'm just going to twizzle you around a minute. We're going to do this beam across the front of the house. I've got a streak of pencil there. There we go. Right, let's see if I can get it in the right order. Okay. So, the slate colour. There we go. Right, cobblestone. Let's try that. But as you can see, I mean, it's worked out. It doesn't look any different, does it? It's just me getting it wrong. Let's put cobblestone in. And then bring out those. I think I've got it right. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably say that I've got it wrong again now, but I don't think it will hurt. When I do the editing, I will put the correct order from lightest to darkest on the screen for you. But I think that's correct. If you look at the tone, I think that's correct. Cobblestone. Then Zephyr Blue. That's better. Yeah, for sure. So cobblestone, Zephyr Blue, whatever the next one is, Dark Night, and then our slate. Yeah, that's better. I'm sorry. Very dizzy. Yeah, so they've worn me out. I just find it, when anybody's working in my home, I find it incredibly stressful. They weren't particularly respectful of my home. They left a lot of mess on day one. So this morning, my son came to help me, and we had to dust sheet my entire office. Can you imagine? You got brick dust on your my colouring books. It would just be a nightmare, wouldn't it? And all my precious supplies. So there, right. We finally got it. Well, I finally got it in the right order. So I'm going back with cobblestone just over this one. I'm going to just deepen up some little areas. Make sure that we've kept that nice. Cobblestone, Zephyr Blue, And I think, obviously, in the right order, it's going to be easier to blend in. Zephyr blue. Then it should be dark. No. Then it should be dark night. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Oh my goodness, that was hard work. Right. There we go. So, the beam this side will be done the same. Those will be done the same. And I'm going to do the window frames, but I want to put the light, the glow from the light in the window. So I'm going to do it almost as if she's got a little fire going on, and I'm going to use the same colours we used for the lantern. So I've got serpent, this is in the correct order, gold dust and light yellow. So what I'm going to do, before I do the picture frame, because it's a lighter colour and I don't want to drag that dark in, I'm going to put the serpent in the corner, almost as if there's a little fireplace glowing is what I want. There we go. So we'll have the serpent like this, a little bit up here. And then we'll put in gold dust, which is very similar, but just slightly more subtle. Like this. Okay, and then we'll blend the whole thing with that light yellow. So she's got her little fireplace glow going on, or it could be that she's got her cauldron bubbling away. Who knows? Okay, I'm just going to go back with that mid-tone, which is gold dust. And then back in with the light yellow. Okay. Now at the moment, it looks like our house is on fire, but when we get the colours around it, it will look better. So let's take our grey slate and we're going to cover that little window lightly, like we've done like we did the door and the woodwork. Okay. Yeah, right. Now, get it in the right order, Lucy. Okay, cobblestone. So I'm going to go in with cobblestone round the edge here. All the way around there. And then just help fade it out for our next colour. Around the base there. There we go. Then we're going to go in with a zephyr blue. Yeah, I've got it correct this time. A zephyr blue. There we go. Now, I know it's only been a day, but I did ask about a little diamond painting that I brought. Does anybody want to see that diamond painting, or shall I just keep it to myself? And then this is Dark Night. I brought a little diamond painting to take on holiday. Just for those moments of peace that I might get. And then our slate colour, grey slate. We'll just use those to blend in together. There we go. Now, depending on how the rest of the picture goes, I was thinking about using this combination for her wall, but I'm not sure. To do the stones. And then down the centre. So we'll take the cobblestone, I'm going to put it at the top here. Bring it down just a little bit at the bottom. And bring it out a little bit. And here. And here. Like that. And then blue zephyr. Dark night. I'm going to fill that up, dark night on that side. And then the grey. There we go. And then we've got a little matching window to the rest of our house. How's that? Needs a little bit more. Missed a bit. There we go. I think it's going to look really cute. So the other thing I want to show you is, before I go off, the greens that we used for the leaves, I am going to use on that little bit there and the leaves in the little window. So let me remind you, let's get these in the right order. So I had sable, I had forest, and I had leaf green. So I'm going to go in with sable. Do you know what? It's a good job that I've got this editing suite to take the noise out. This road tonight that I live on is horrendous. My chair is squeaking. Oh my goodness. In a way, I will look forward to going back into my little office because the traffic drives me mad. I hate it. Not that you'll be able to hear it, but oh my goodness, I'm glad you can't because it's horrific tonight. I don't know what is going on in my little town. But there we go. Then we're going to go in with forest. I decided that a little mossy roof would look cool. So, like I said, and it will bring down some of the top of the page into the main bit of it. And then it sort of unifies it then. Oh, suddenly I had another heart attack because I keep thinking that you can't see. I hate it when I'm filming and then I look up and I think, oh no, they haven't seen any of that. Okay, and then leaf green. There we go. Pretty cool. I think that looks actually quite cool. Like she's got moss or she's got one of those grass roofs. Yeah. There we go. Just deepening that section and getting into those edges. My eyesight's really poor and I find it really hard to go up to the edges. I don't know why. I know I need replacement glasses, but it's the cost of everything, folks, isn't it? You know, because I wear varifocals, because I need glasses for everything, you know, they can be £300, £400, £500, you know, and that's just you not even having anything special. So we're going to do the same with these little ones when I finish moaning. So a bit of sable down here, but I'm sure all you spectacle wearers out there will understand it. The cost of it is just astronomical. There we go. And then forest. And then we'll have leaf green. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay, so if we come out a minute, I'm not going to come out and do the whole page because I want you to be able to see clearly. So we've got this little window down here. We're going to do the same as that window. We've got all the woodwork and the rest of the door to finish. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to do that. And then obviously, like I said earlier, it will give me an idea of what colours I want other things. So if I get this main focal point done, is this house, then we'll come back and have a look at what's left. See you in a sec. All right, guys, I've finished the woodwork and the little window, and I did the same with the window round the door. So I've picked the next bit that jumped out to me that will make sense to the drawing. And that I'm going to do as like a raven bird, so he's going to be really dark. And then we're going to have a look at the pots. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them all terracotta, but then we'll have different colours for the designs on them. So if we come down and look at this teeny tiny, let me just shift things about a bit. Look at this little birdie. Here we are. I've got 4 colours, simple colours, so don't worry. I've got midnight, I've got coal, I've got shadow, and I've got gunmetal. And we're going to use those. So I'm going to cover him in gunmetal, just so we get some of that wax down. And then I'm going to go in with my midnight. And I've chosen to make him a raven. He's more fitting, or a crow, with our witch theme. Right. So let's now go in with midnight. Now we've got that base down, and I'm going to do this edge in midnight. This is a really good black, by the way, folks. I'm going to bring that round a little bit, make that a bit more, less duck-like, and I'm going to come up round his wing shape. I'm going to put that in nice, and look how dark that is. I think it's from must be from the skin set, this midnight. It's got that gold band round. I've used it quite a lot, as you can see. It's a really nice, soft and squishy one. So I'm just going to put a little bit more around here. And then I'm going to soften it out so that we can put the other colours in. I'm going to come up round here. Get that nice and dark, particularly down there. Okay. I'm going to switch to coal, which is a really dark grey. And then we'll push that in. We can always go back in, like I nearly always do. I don't know about you guys, but. And then we've got shadow. So we'll use the shadow. Want a little bit of that, bit more of that coal in there. There we go. Use that shadow to blend everything. And then a little tiny bit of the gunmetal. So we'll have the gunmetal to push into the top of his head and over those wings. Okay. Then we're going to come back with midnight and just sort of play about until we get him, until I get him right. There we go. And then coal again. Just deepen up some of those bits. Around there. Okay, so we've got a nice, we're actually going to use coal, bring that down. I'm going to put black on the edge of his beak here as well. And then coal on the top half of that, on the top half of his beak. There we are. Oh, one thing I did do while we're close up, I used a jelly roll pen and just put the black rivets in the door, and I put a little bit of the same greens on the door handle so it looks like she's used vines to tie it on. Okay, right, now, let me just get colours sorted. Just need to check that I've got the right ones. Okay, these ones. Yes. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so we're going to look at these. I'm going to come out a little bit. We're very close there. We're going to look at these. I'm just going to tilt you. There we go. We're going to look at these terracotta pots. Let's start with this one. So I've got 4 colours. I've got, starting with the darkest, I've got Negra. I've got Foxy Brown. I've got Saddle. And I've got Oyster. So, as usual, we're going to put the oyster in. Just so I get that base of colour down. And I'm going to leave the pattern, because we can come back and put some colour in there at a later date. Like that. And then I'm going to go in with the Negra. And I'm going to darken that up round that, underneath that rim. And we're going to pull that in. So we get like clay. This is going to look, hopefully look like they're clay pots outside. Pull that in. Let's get that nice and dark and rich there. And then let it fade out a bit. Okay, then we're going to use Foxy Brown. Bring that in. A little bit of Foxy Brown. And then we're going to use the Saddle. And bring that in. And I don't want too much of a highlight in the centre, but then I'm going to use the oyster just to go back over and give it that blend. There we go. Okay, so in the top of this pot, I'm going to put the, which is our darkest colour, is the Negra. Like that. Get that nice and dark. Let me just get comfy. Wiggling about all over the place. Here we go. Right, just going to darken up that edge again. And then we're going to do the same on this bit. So we want that bit a bit darker because it's at the back. There we go. Bring that out round here. Then we'll go in with our Foxy Brown. And then our Saddle. I'm going to try and fill up that with the Saddle at the back because it'll be darker. It's the back of the pot. There we go. And then we'll just blend over with our oyster. Okay, let's just do the bottom. So Negra, I'm going to start at the base and make that dark. So obviously that's going to be sat on the floor, which incidentally I still have no idea how I'm going to do. Could do it gravel like I did with some of the other ones, and we just use lots and lots of different coloured water-based markers. That's quite easy to do, but we'll see. Like I say, I think as you go along, the kind of colours sort of jump out. Well, they do to me, you know, as I go along, it's like, you think, oh yeah, well that would work. Those colours would work together. And that's kind of how my brain works, really. If I haven't planned the whole page like I used to beforehand. Bring that saddle in. And try and make those highlights sort of match. So you've got the darkest bits, kind of give you that rounded look that we want. Okay, I'm going back in with Negra. I'm just tidying up now. Just making sure those edges are really nice and dark. There, I think that's going to look really cool. And I am going to do all the pots like that. And if there's any designs on them, we'll come back and revisit the designs so that they've got colour on them. But I think all her pots are going to be the same. Because maybe she's made them. There we go. And that way then the page is not going to be so overwhelmed with colour and, you know, just... So I think they're all the same. They're all going to be done exactly the same. So I think, let's come out. We've got our black crow who's looking ominous there. Let's come out and let me get you back in shot because I've moved the camera down. A bit more loose. There you go. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off and fill in all those pots. That's another huge part of the page done. And then we're going to come back, hopefully I'm going to look at the mushroom steps up the tree. I think I'm going to do them traditional colours, so there'll be reds and, you know, the beige underneath. And then I am leaning towards just the traditional grey cobblestones and wall, but I don't know at the moment. Anyway, folks, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, the mammoth job of the clay pots is finished, and we'll come back and revisit to add some colour to them, so they're just not all the same. I have gone over the design, but I'm probably just going to use like a jelly roll is what I'm trying to think of to put the designs in, unless I've left these big areas. Okay, now I've faffed about enough. I think I've chosen that we're going to have grey stone wall and cobbled path. And I've got the mushroom colours ready. So shall we have a look and get these mushrooms done? It's another big section of the page. That's what I'm trying to think of. Right, let's come in. I'm going to try and... Here we go. All right, so what colours have I got? From darkest to lightest, if I've got these in the correct order, which I hope I have got brown bug. Yes, that's going to be our shadow colour. Then I've got evil red. Then I've got bloodshot. And then I've got blood red. All delicious sounding colours. So I'm going to go in first of all with our evil red, and we're going to focus on the top of the mushroom. So I'm going to do this one because it's in shot and it's easy. So I'm taking evil red, and I'm going to start at the back, and I'm going to fill that in round the back here. Not enough of it where it attaches to the tree, and I'm going to make that my darkest point. So we're going to bring that out. Okay. But I didn't feel that that was dark enough. I'm just softening off that edge. So which is why I got the brown bug to go over it. So we'll just put the other reds in first. So then I've got bloodshot. So we'll put that in. It's going to be nice and bright. Nice bright mushrooms. Traditional colours, of course. Okay, going back over that. I'm going to kind of do it in a little bit of an arch. So we've got that brighter colour to go in the centre. Okay, and then we've got blood red. So we're going to fill the rest of our mushroom up with blood red. There we go. Okay, just make sure I've got that in. And then, as a final touch, we're going to add brown bug, which I am going to go back over where we put that first colour, which was evil red. I'm just going to really darken up that edge with it. We can go back in then with our evil red afterwards. I just really wanted that depth, so adding this reddy brown to it should do that for us. Which is why I still use the 3 tones of red, so that this doesn't come through as brown, if that makes any sense to you. Okay, so we'll go back with evil red now. Go over that. Okay, back with our bloodshot. It just makes it nice and dark and rich. And then our blood red. And use that to blend through. Okay. Let's give that a bit of a brush off. Got a few crumbles there, but I hope you can see that here looks really effective. And then for the base, I have got just three colours, quite simple. I have got, from darkest to lightest, I've got dark chocolate, I've got dim grey, and I've got brown fog. So I'm going to cover it all in brown fog. It's a good mushroomy colour. There we go. Bit of brown fog. And then I'm going to take the dark chocolate and we're going to go in with that. And I am going to, underneath, I'm going to bring that down so it looks like our mushroom is hanging over the top. Our red mushroom top is hanging over the top. Put enough of that in. Okay, a little bit at the bottom there as well, couldn't we? Darken that up. And then bring it down dark on those stripes. Don't know if we need the other colour actually, but we'll see. And then I've got a bit of dim grey, but I don't know if we'll need that. Because it kind of just tones that brown into sort of more mushroomy. Okay. And then we can go back with our brown fog. And then just smush it all in. So we get a kind of mushroomy colour. So I hope you like that. That's how we're going to do those. Let me put those to one side. Because you know what I'm like. They'll be lost and I'll have to go back and watch my video to see what colours I'd used. Okay, I know we're jumping around the page, but like I said, I'm doing this because these are the things that have jumped out to me, that how I want to do them, you know, the obvious things. So we're going to come and focus now on the brickwork. And for the bricks, I've got 4 colours. I know they're tiny, but I've got 4 colours. Let's put them in the correct order, Lucy, shall we? Charcoal. Then I've got medium grey. Then I've got shadow. And then I've got spider's web. So they're nice warm greys. So it's not going to be too stark against this blue. So let's just choose a random brick. So I'm going here with spider's web. And we're going to plop that in. And then what I'm thinking, we could try and add a little bit of green moss on it, you know, a little touch with maybe some distress ink or something. If I have time. We'll see. Right, so I've got that brown fog down. Is that right? No, spider's web, I do apologise. Then we're going in with charcoal, which is our darkest. And I am going to put that underneath as if these bricks are, those are on top. Like this. So I'm going to bring it round to the edges. And then let it fade out as we usually do. Then I'm taking medium grey. And I'm going to go with that. This is a colder grey, but it'll kind of pull that blue in that we've used. Pull a little bit of that in. It's more of a sort of steely colour, but it'll just stop our bricks being sort of flat. And then we're going to go back with our shadow. Oh no, we're going to go in with our shadow, not back with it. We haven't used it yet. Okay. And then back to, that's what I mean, back to our spider's web. And we'll just blend that through. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, so they're not all the same, let's do this one so I can show you what I meant about them overlapping. I'll keep the bottom of the brick lighter. And I'm just going to vary how much I put in of those colours. So let's do a little bit less of the dark this time. So we'll put some charcoal in because that's our shadow. So we're going to make sure that that remains, but put less of it in. I'm just going to do it around like that. Then we're going to go in with our medium grey. And then our shadow. Just kind of pull it out in random spots rather than just maybe so uniform. And then back in with our beautiful spider's web. Okay. Let me brush that off. Should we do another one? Okay, so let's do, why not do the one next to it? So spider's web. And I'm going to make, because this bit is underneath these, I'm going to make this bit a little bit darker as well with our charcoal. Like that. And then our medium grey. And let's just kind of mess about with it. Like that. Then our shadow. And then go back in with spider's web. There we go. So the same colours, but we're just going to vary how much I plop down where you put the patterning, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay, we're going to do the cobblestones the same. So spider's web. There we go. Then we're going to take our charcoal. I'm going to make these edges dark here. Really dark there. Then our medium grey for the front of the stones, so they look a bit darker. And then on the actual stone itself, we'll go in with the shadow. And we'll pull that through. Okay, let's do another one. So I need spider's web. Where have I put that? Here we go, spider's web. There we go. Then we'll take the charcoal, which is our very darkest. Let's make that really dark there. And then we'll put in a little bit of medium grey, just a tad, just above that black bit and around there, because it's under that one, or next to that one. And then our shadow. There we go. And then we'll blend with our spider's web. And what should happen is that looks very different to that. And I hope that comes across. Not very different, but it looks like we've used different greys just with the way that we've done it. So if I come out and we have another look now. So right, what now? Project now for Lucy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mushrooms, and goodness knows how many stepping stones and bricks. And then we'll meet back up and we'll see where we are. I might do the chimney in these greys as well, but we'll see. You know, one step at a time. We'll just see. All right, my lovely friends, I will see you when the mushrooms are done and the bricks are done. Could be some time. See you in a bit. Right, guys, so I finished the little mushroom steps and I did the stone wall and the stepping stones. Right, I think before we go any further, the chimney is going to be some kind of grey, like a metal. I want to do the background of the house, like the plaster work on the house. So I've got 4 colours. Let's move over to this bit, then I don't have to keep messing about with the camera and bring you in. There we go. So I've got, just so I get them in the right order, people, from darkest to lightest, I've got leather, I've got light mocha, then I've got suede, and I've got oyster. Just so it's not so starkly different from the tree, I want to keep that sort of soft brown look. So if we go in first with our oyster, and we put a light coat of that down, there we go. You won't be able to hear because I'll have to edit it out, but the sun's come out in the UK, and guess what? Yes, there's power tools going on next door. Power garden tools. I don't know if I'll ever be allowed any peace ever. Okay, so we're going to take leather, which is our darkest colour now. And I'm just going to lightly put this in as a bit of shadowing where I think it'll be its darkest. It's around the window frame. And we are going to change tone because it's very orangey. And I want a more sort of creamy look. So we're going to change the tone when we put the other colours over it. But I just need this to be a bit darker. Okay. So I'm going to try and put them in order so I don't get them mixed up. So now we're going to go over that with our light mocha, and that will change that tone up. And it'll be different, but not too much of a contrast against the tree, which is what I was going for, sort of naturey, earthy colours. Okay, so we've got our light mocha in there. Then we're going to go in with our suede. And we're going back over all of that. Bring that out. Going back over that so that, like I say, it changes the tone. I haven't got any lights on at the moment. It's an absolute miracle. Although I'm in the big bedroom with the bigger windows at the moment, and for however long that lasts, the light in here is usually really poor. But today it's really bright. So I've left them off for a change. There we go. And this is, sorry, I do apologise, oyster, our lightest colour. There we go. And I think that when we do the rest of the house is going to look really nice. Just sort of subtle earthy tones. So let's do another bit. I need to fill this bit in. It's really been bugging me, this bit, because I was like, well, is that part of the house? What is it? So we're going with it as part of the house. So I'm going in with my oyster. That's correct. I thought I got the wrong colour again then for a minute. It's very confusing when you... I used to use Black Widows all the time. I loved them in my Rita Berman books and, you know, lots of colouring books. But when you haven't used them for a long time, you kind of forget about your colours. You know, it's sort of almost second nature, isn't it, when you know a pencil set, which colours you're picking up. So this is leather. And we're going to go in where we want that shadow. So I'm going to put that round there. Get that in. And then that at the back of the queue. Then I've got light mocha. fill that in. Okay. Then I'm going to go over all of that with suede. So the colours we have used, most of these colours I think we've used in the picture already, but just in different combinations. So I just thought it would be really pretty and nice and subtle. And then our final colour is the oyster, and we're going to use that to blend everything together. Okay, I'm going to go back in with, let's go back in with the light mocha and just deepen this up a bit. Kind of lost a little bit of that darkness. There we go. Isn't that cute? All right, put them back in order, Lucy. Well, that's suede. See, did it wrong again. So, and then oyster, our lightest colour. Beautiful colour. There we go. Let's do this bit together as well. So, oyster, going to do around the broomstick. Now, you'd have thought that would have been an obvious choice, wouldn't you? What colours to use for the broomstick. But because we've got so many browns, I'm debating on whether to do it something a little different. So now we're going in with leather. So I'm going to put my shadow in here, around the wall. Around this edge of the building. Have a little bit down that broomstick. Oh, it's gone dark all of a sudden. Shall I put the lamp on just in case? Okay, light mocha. So leather. And then over with light mocha, don't we? Getting myself in a pickle again. Bring that out, a little bit down there. Okay, leather, light mocha. Yep, suede. And then we go over the entire thing with that beautiful oyster colour. I tell you what, I do like the Black Widows for their muted tones. They, you know, well, they've got some incredible colours. It's a really big set if you have all of them. Just incredible colours. Let's go over that. I mean, when they work like this, on the paper like they're working on, they're just a dream. So I'm going back in with my light mocha, which just changes that oranginess of the, what was it? Leather. Okay, there we go. I think that's going to look gorgeous. Sort of real earthy, beautiful tone. So we'll do this little bit together. So, wrong colour. Don't get it wrong, Lucy. Oyster. Let's do these little bits. And then I'll go off and finish it. Big space. Because you've seen how I do round the window. I'm going to have a bit of shadow around the door. Okay. Oyster, then leather. So I'm going to go in. We're going to have, I'm just trying to think. Let's do it from this side. I'll have a little bit of leather in there. And then following that, we'll do it that side. And then this side. Just so it looks like those little beams are standing out. So leather, light mocha. Light mocha. Suede. Which just helps us knock that orange colour back. So it's currently Thursday. One more day of, well, we're not leaving for holiday until Sunday, but one more day of prep really. One more for YouTube, I mean, because I have to get this out to you. I was hoping to get it out last night, but with all the windows and everything being done, it was just a nightmare. And this is our oyster, just for that blending through. Yes, I've got one more day really where I can do YouTube fun before I have to do adulting and packing and whatnot. We're really going for the week, so it's not so bad. You know, it won't be anything. We're going to take the little fella for a meal, but there won't be anything sort of dressy or, you know, anything to get really dressed up for, other than the meal, because it'll be all about the little fella and doing fun things with him. So, and then just to blend it all through nicely again, we'll go back in with the oyster. That'll help knock back any darker patches that I've got that are too dark, or anywhere that's not smooth. There we go. Right, let me come out and have a look, see what you think. I think, hang on, let me get the whole thing in for you. I think once that is complete, and we've got whatever ground we're going to have, I think that I'll be glad that I've chosen that sort of muted tone for the house. So let me go off and finish the house, and then hopefully I'll have a plan. We've got to finish the pots. Yeah, and I'll be back. All right. Excuse me. See you in a second. Okay, so I have finished the house. I'm glad I went with the more subtle tones. Let's turn that off now. I'm glad I went with the more subtle tones. Right, before we go any further, I'm just going to do these little plants in the same greens that we use the grasses. So I'm using, what did we use? Sable. So we're going to put a bit of sable in. This is going to be the editing video from hell. All these colours. We've used a lot of different combinations. Same sort of colours, but a lot of different combinations. So it's going to be an editing nightmare. Sorry, I do apologise. I'll move you in. Here we go. So that's sable. Then we go in with forest. I remember this combination because I really like this combination in the Black Widows. Make sure we've got a nice, decent amount of the tip left to put that leaf green on. Okay, I'm trying to do it so that you can, so my hand doesn't get in the way. Very awkward. I've got like an L-shaped desk, but it's not very deep. So it's not very deep. So you kind of, you get in your own way, if you get what I mean. Okay, and then we go in with leaf green, which I love. Beautiful colour. And we go over the whole thing. We've got a nice little plant. Now that one I'm thinking of doing a different colour. I'm not sure. And I might have to go over with pen because I would rather have had the pot coloured nicely than trying to go round those little tiny bits. Okay. So, done that. Now I want to have a look at the chimney. I know we're jumping about backwards and forwards, but it's just how I've how things have jumped out to me. So I'm going to have to bring you with me, tip you up back to that sky. Okay, we're going to have a look at this chimney. And I have got 3 colours. So I've got charcoal, flat black, and I've got gunmetal. So let's start with our charcoal. I'm just going to move my plastic sheet out for this because we're at the edge of the page and I'll end up getting a line. So, well, actually, let's go in with gunmetal and cover the whole thing. So I've tried to pick some more cooler greys to do this little chimney stack with. So I'm going to go in with charcoal. So I'm going around the bottom. This bit's a bit tricky because as you get towards the edge of that, the join in the page, you know, the spine of the book is what I'm trying to say, it gets a little bit more tricky. So I'm just going to fill that in with gunmetal. No, charcoal. Okay, now, and then I've got flat black. So I'm going to start at the bottom here and just put a little bit of that flat black in. Okay. I know I've done it a little bit of a funny way round that way, haven't I? But so flat black at the bottom, then the charcoal. Just going to softly bring that out. And then we'll go back over with our, now it's gunmetal. And we use that as a blender. Okay, and then we're going to use the flat black around that edge. You see. And then we'll go in with a little bit of the charcoal just to see. It's really hard to colour nicely around that edge. There we go. A little grey chimney stack. Let's start down the bottom here now then. So we're going to put in our gunmetal. Then we're going to use the charcoal, which is our darkest. So we'll come up here. Well, no, it's not our darkest. It's actually our mid-tone, the charcoal. Do apologise. Put that in. Then we'll put the flat black in where we want the darkest bits. Okay. Back to the charcoal. Just soften that out a little bit. And then the gunmetal. There we go. And on this bit, we'll use the charcoal. And then we'll just go into the, just blend that through with the gunmetal so the joins are darker. We'll just do this bit together, so I hope I'm making sense. So, gunmetal. Then I'm going to go in with the charcoal, which is our mid-tone. I don't know how to do it to keep my hand out of the way. Like this. So it's our charcoal, our mid-tone. And then we can go in with a little bit of flat black. And just deepen that up. Okay, back to the charcoal. Just aid that blend a little bit better. And then go through it all with gunmetal. There we go. And then we'll do the charcoal. I wish I had the new set of Black Widows because, like I said, they have the dipped ends and it would make life so much easier. So charcoal, so we make that nice and dark. And then blend that out with the gunmetal on those joints. There we go. So that's how we're going to do that. And I'm going to use the same for the cauldron. So, gunmetal. Had to be a traditional, like, pewter style cauldron. Okay, then we're going to go in with our charcoal. And I'm going to put that. We need to come in a little bit further, I think, for this, because it's quite squishy. Let me get comfy. Hang on. Right. Going with the charcoal. I'm going to put it around the base. Around the edges there. Is it pewter that I'm thinking of? Pewter? The colour, or is that sort of silvery grey? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, folks. Right, flat black, and then we'll put that around the base. There we go. It's beginning to come together. Then I might use a little bit of silver pen to do the chains, maybe. I don't know, or just leave it with Eriy's colouring there. Eriy's drawing. Right. I should be banned from trying to talk and colour at the same time, because I'm making no sense. Okay, I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that flat black. Just darken that up. There we go. And the charcoal. There we go. Just leave a little bit in the centre. And then gunmetal the whole thing. What do you think, folks? Right. So I'm just gonna sharpen my flat black, because we're gonna put that in those in that tiny little area there. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just wondering whether we should have put a little bit of actual black in there. What do you think? Quite like it. Yeah, I quite like it. Might need a little bit of black, we'll see. I'll let you know if I do. Okay. No. Yeah, I'm going to have to leave it at that, because I haven't planned any further. I don't know what to do about these pots. I'm thinking that we might bring some red down. Let's try. Oh, she's being brave, folks. Here we go. Right, let's try these two colours. Hang on. Let's go over for a pot. Let's try. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be brave. I don't want that one. I want the bright red we had. What was the bright red, folks, that we used? Blood red, yes. So I don't want navy blue, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, I do want that. So I want blood. I've got bloodshot, and I've got blood red. So, okay. Let's go in with blood red. Let's have a look at this little pot, because it's just a tiny bit, so it's not going to be so disastrous if I don't like it. Blood red. Okay. And then we'll go in with the bloodshot, which is our darker red. And just put some darker spots in there. Okay, we might even need that. You know that, no, that's there for blue. Brown bug that we used up on the mushrooms. Let's put that in. Just give us a bit more definition. A bit more shading. Let's put it up there. Okay, then go back in with bloodshot. All right, yeah, that. And then blood red. Yeah, I quite like that. And we're going to do the same at the top here. And I'm not going to like try and do the zigzag pattern, because I think, for me personally, I think it's too much. So I'm going to colour it all in. This is blood red. I'm going to colour it the same colours. I think it'd just be too much otherwise. This is brown bug, so this will give us our shading, so a bit round the edges to keep that illusion of it being a rounded object. And then we'll go in with bloodshot over that brown bug. And then back it in with the blood red. Ooh, I really like that. I really like that. Now, if you can put detailing in. If you want to put those lines back in, you could, but I'm not going to. So let's swap to this side. And the other jar I left like that was this one. So let's do that red. So blood red. And then I might Posca some dots in so it covers up the black. Those black dots. Let's do that. This way that brings the mushroom colours down into the page. So we keep everything sort of unified, and although we may use different shades, we're using the same colours but different shades. It just adds interest. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, that was just blood red anyway, all over it. Let's do brown bug. So we'll do it around the bottom here and around the side. And here. Now, I've thought about these pots over and over again while we've been doing the page. So I've just been brave and gone in with it. I just have to hope that it works. But as long as we stick to sort of earthy tones, I think it'll be fine. Okay, then we're going back over that with bloodshot. Gives us that nice dark red tone. There we go. Let's get that in there. And then back over with blood red. What do you think, folks? I like it. Personally, I think that looks cool. Okay. Let's come out and have a look a minute. Just trying to... I think we could get away with some blues. I'm reckoning. So, what have we got there? Navy. And Zephyr Blue might be too... folks, that's all I have to say. I don't know. I'm going to have to go off and do a little bit of more planning, which won't take long because we've got the tiles around them. Ignore that. Tiles around the roof to do. Finish the pots. Yeah, we haven't got that much. Ooh, we could do... While I've got them out, let's do the little lantern in the same colours we did the chimney. So let's come in. Look, I need to tidy my desk up when I go off as well, so that I'm not all in a dither and a pickle. Right, gunmetal. Let's put that in. We'll put it round here too. And we got to put some colour on our candle. Then we went in with charcoal. So a little bit of charcoal. Down there, and then a little bit of flat black. Okay, and then back in with our gunmetal. There we go. All right. I don't know what colour we are going to have the candle yet. I'll make a decision at some point. All right, folks. We're going to come back out Oh, it's such hard work trying to choose the right colours and get it right. So I'm going to go off and finish the chimney, and then I'm going to come back and I will have the colours planned, I promise, and we'll finish the page together. All right, my lovely friends, see you in a second. All right, my lovelies. So I did this pot in the same red combination as I've done the others. And now I've got a new green combination, which is, let me try and work this out. So fan green is our darkest. Then we've got leaf green, and then we've got, bear with me, I've got no marking left on it. 102 is olive green. I will put them on the screen so you know, obviously. But okay, so these little leaves I'm going to try and colour over with the fang green, just so that they've got colour on them. If not, if they don't look any good, I can go over with a Posca or some type of pencil. But I think they'll be all right. Look, they're covering. There we go. So just we've got a different variant of greens going on. And then I had an idea for the ground, which is the Derwent Inktense paints, because we can, I know it doesn't like watercolour, but if I can put a layer of a different sort of brown down than we've already used, we can always go in and deepen parts up or lighten parts. And it's quite a big space. I just don't know if my hand can take it. Well, that seems to have worked nicely. Look at that. There we go. And it's all got different tones in it where we've got different colours underneath. So that seems to be okay. So that was fan green. Right, let's do this. So we're going to use olive green. And I'm going in here. This is our lightest of this new combination. Try and work around that, the spine of the book. And I am going to go over these little marks with some acrylic paint pen. Right, I've got to try and get in there. Oh, I didn't bring you in. Oh, I'm so sorry. Good job those leaves were just one colour, wasn't it? So we're just going in here with this olive green. It's a really pretty colour. Well, I'm going to try and get in there anyway. It's the only downside to this book. Okay, then we're going in with leaf green, which we've already used. That was the lightest colour in our other combinations. I'm going to put that in around these edges. Try and get it in down there. Okay, and then we're going to take the fan green and we're going to plop that in around the edge. Okay, and then go back with our olive green and just blend that through. Didn't like it there, it scuffed the paper up there. Okay, so we get to keep that earthy look. I didn't tidy my desk up, I'm a bad person. Okay, let's do it down here. So, yeah, olive green. And we'll do it on those pots over there too. There we go. I've sat and played all morning doing this. I've done nothing else. Oh dear. There is too much time where we have to be adults, isn't there? And if you can't play, well, in your school holidays, when can I play? I don't know. I don't care. I'm having fun. Okay. So we're going to put that leaf green in. A bit of shading. And then a tiny bit of that fan green. I can't mess too much here because of that, the spine in the book. It's really difficult. A bit there. And back in with that leaf green. Just blend that through. There we go. And then back in with that olive green. Got to be careful on this one. Like I say, it scuffed the paper up there. I don't know why, because I wasn't pressing hard. Could be where I've been working on it. Got the oils off your hands. Okay. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I have got my, let's come out a minute so I don't blind you with this. I've got my Artex acrylic marker set. And purely because I've got lots of acrylic marker sets now because people have kindly gifted them to me. So it means I'm lucky enough to have an array of different colours. So I've got a very deep wine red. What colour is it? Let me get the actual thing out. So I've chosen, they'll be on the screen, obviously, A40, which is wine red, and I've chosen A57, which is, of course, it would be the one I can't read. That one, whatever that is. It will be on the screen. And just for detailing, like on the reds, I'm going to put the green in. So these are beautiful because you've got a brush tip and then you've got a little bullet tip. So it's really versatile. So just on the red ones, they're going to have little green dots. Like that. So if you've got any detailing that I want to fill in, I'm going to do it like that. And on the green one, we're going to use the wine red. Just like that. I'm not going to do too much fuss about it because I like the fact that I kept them. I tried to keep them as plain as possible. So this one we can put in those triangles if I'm really careful. Like that. Okay. And then over here, this side. Oh, goodness, Lucy, you've got so much on your desk going on. Ugh. Come out a bit would help you. Yeah, that's sensible. I'm going to do red and then green at the front here. And then what colour should we do these? Let's do this one red. So we'll do the detailing on here in the wine red. Like that. We can do these little spots down here. Like that in wine red. And then we follow Eriy's design. Carefully plop those in. Like that. I'll go back over and do it more carefully when you don't have to sit and watch it on camera. But that's the idea anyway. Oh, I really like that with the terracotta. That looks good, doesn't it? And then we will put in the green on this one. Almost Christmassy colours. Hadn't thought about that really. Okay. There. So all I've got to do is that side. Let's have a look. I'm just going to put these out of the way for a minute. Okay. Put those back in, out the way. Now we're going to have a look at this broomstick while that dries. So if I centralise you again and we come in, More combinations, folks. Broomstick and door handle. Oh, we could use the red for the little berries on there. So we'll use that wine red on those little berries on the door. Okay, so for the broomstick, I have got dark chocolate, dungeon, and foxy brown. Now I can't remember which is the darkest out of these two. So that's dungeon. Oh, definitely we'll go with the dark chocolate. Okay, so we're going to go in with dark chocolate. Up this side of the broom. Can you see? Up this side of the broom handle. There we go. And then we're going to go in with the foxy brown. That's for the handle. Okay. Blend that in a little bit better. Just go over gently. Blend the two colours together. A little bit of dark that side. There we go. Right. Now, we're going to do foxy brown on the actual brush part of the broom. Like this. We're also going to do the door handle the same. There we go. Then we're going to put in the dark chocolate. So I'm going to start at the bottom and bring some of that dark chocolate down. I'm going to follow Erie's lines. So I keep them in. I'm just sort of streaking it in there. Can you see? Okay. A bit like we do with her hair. Then we're going to take that dungeon and we're going to shove some of that in. Let's shove it in there, folks. Why not? Then we'll go back over with our beautiful foxy brown, that nice red. And we'll get that in. Okay. Now, we could take a little bit of black, I think, as well, and actually just put some darker streaks in there. There. Okay, I'm going to go back in with dark chocolate over that black. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and we're going to use the dark chocolate and the foxy brown for the door handle. So I'm going in with my dark chocolate. And then bring that out really lightly where I'm going to put the foxy brown. There you go. We're nearly there, folks. I know it's a marathon video, but I did warn you that it would be because there's so many elements to the page. Okay, now the magic potion sign. I've been dreading this. I didn't know what to do it in really. So should we do it in, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, what I am going to do is take Midnight. I'm going to do that hinge there. In Midnight. There we go. All right. Oh, folks, it's so hard. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it for a minute. Now, what I've got now is, gosh, I hope this works. Otherwise, I'll ruin the whole page. Let's come out and have a look. I love how it's turning out. I really do. So, what I've got is this Derwent set of Inktense paints. And in here, this is what I was really interested in. in here is this natural brown, it's called, and it's beautiful. It looks like that when it's most intense. So we are going to put that on the path. I know it's scary. But what I'm going to do is mix it up so it's a little lighter. And then what we can do is shade over it. Oh, let's try. Okay, so I've got a very expensive, I treated myself ages ago in a haul, a silver black velvet brush for watercolours. And I'm going in with that natural brown. And I'm going to put it on my palette. And then I'm going to water it down. So this is Inktense, but I know this book does not like water. However, if we're going to go over it with pencil, here we go. If we're going to go over it with pencil, it should be fine. And actually, I quite like, if you look, it comes out with like a sort of, so I've got on the other page now, it comes out with a sort of grainy tone. But we can either go back in because it's Inktense and go back over it and darken up some areas, or we can use our pencils over it. But it's very different to any of the other browns that I've got, that I've used when it dries. So you'll see that. And it was going to be quite hard to mix up. Well, quite hard to find a brown in the set that I hadn't already used, if you know what I mean. So what I was saying about the grain, I quite like the grainy effect that it gives us because this is a path. It's not going through. And the worst that will happen, folks, is that we have to colour over it. But it will make colouring it easier. It always sort of changes the surface of the paper once you've put water on it and gives it a more rougher texture. So I've gone over that little stepping stone there. Can you see how sort of grainy it goes to start with when you put water on this paper? It's a bit weird. But I just think it's going to look awesome. And we can't just leave it blank. It's got to be done. So you have to be brave. Says me, myself, the master of procrastination and worry and not being brave. Okay, a little bit more. So I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. Now, also, as part of our budget range, we know some pencils are not water. They are water soluble, sorry. So do be careful when you go around your colouring if you're going to do this method. That grain will dry, look, it's disappearing. So what I'm going to do is just finish this little section and then I'm going to go off, do that and let it dry, and then we'll come back and meet up. Excuse me, when I've done that and it's dry, so whatever we're going to do over it, we can do together. All right, loves. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so this is what it looks like. It's still a bit wet, but we are going to put some colour over it, so don't worry. I know it looks a bit drab and awful at the moment. So, potion. I'm going to do the magic potion in the same colours as we did this green down here. So, olive, leaf green, and not sable, was it? It was, this one. Fan green. So, if we come in and just focus on this, we're so nearly done, folks. I know you've there's a hair stuck in there, stuck in you. I know you've stuck with me for a long time, but like I said, it is a very intricate page with lots of bits and pieces. So I'm going to go in with fan green, and we're going to go round the edge of the potion. And then I don't know what colour to do the sign. I don't want it at this stage really to introduce a different colour, do I? Okay, then we're going in with olive green. This is a good potiony colour. This is our lightest colour. Quite like that as it is, actually. Yeah, I quite like that as it is. For a good magic potion. What do you think, folks? We'll just blend that. Yeah, let's just blend that fan green in better. There we go. So fan green and olive green. I like that. Okay. What we're going to do is the tiles on the roof. Do you remember the colours that we used for the chimney? I'm going to use those. We're going to use gunmetal. I'm going to have to get you in shot. I'm rushing because I think people will have had enough of watching. So, gunmetal. So they're only a little bit, but I want them to be a bit different to the actual woodwork that we did. So then we used charcoal. So we're just going with a little bit of charcoal, and that might be enough. Just those two colours, actually. We'll see. I don't know if I want the darker one. We'll see. I might just leave it as subtle like that. We'll see when we go back over with the gunmetal. It might just be nice just to leave it easy, instead of working in a billion colours. We'll see. Let's put the gunmetal back over and have a look. I don't want it to look like I haven't bothered. No, quite like that. Okay. Well, maybe let's just the flat black. Let's just put it in. It's going to drive me mad if I don't. So let's just put it in. Flat black. It'll feel like I've cheated because they were the colours that I intended to use. So flat black. And then we can go back with our mid-tone, which is the charcoal, and just push that through. There we go. That does look better. Just a little bit more effort. There we go. There we are. Okay, right. Now, that's how I'm going to finish those. Potion. Maybe we should do that grey. Maybe there's too much grey. I don't know. Let's have a look at the floor. Oh, Lucy, what have you done with it? Chocolate chalk tone I've chosen. I've chosen chalk tone. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Right, round here, this bit is dry. So I'm just going to take chalk tone and I am going to put some shadowing in there. And then we can come over with another lighter colour. Like, for example, let's have a look. What have I got? Brown fog. That would be perfect. Oh, there we go. And I found it. So let's try a bit of brown fog. And that should even that out. Let's see. So many sort of spots and blemishes we've got. And we go back in with our brown chalk tone and just gently bring that out. So a bit of shadowing there. And then we might want a little bit darker, actually. What about, where's our light mocha? Let's try that. Light mocha, that might work. Yeah, that's better. That's better. So we've got chalk tone, light mocha, and brown fog. Just to finish off this earth. Okay, so round these pots, just check it's dry. I'm going to put the chalk tone. And we're going to blend through with that light mocha and the brown fog. Oh, I did put some little black feet on them. Okay, light mocha. Oh, I think that's going to look good without us having to work extraordinarily hard to get that page done. You know, all that. Can you imagine doing all this colouring by hand? I mean, it's possible, but I think I'd be demented. Here we go, and a little bit of brown fog. So what that's going to do is give us that variation so that we've got shadows where we want them. And smooth out the paint at the same time. Right, are we dry here? Yeah, right, okay. Let me just sharpen the chalk tone. And then we can do our blending out at the edge of the page as well. So, round these stepping stones, I'm going to want the chalk tone in there. Just a little bit and bring that out. Like that. If we're going to have a forest floor, we might as well do it properly, haven't we? Okay, let's bring that out. So round the stepping stones. Okay, let's go in with the light mocha now. Yeah, light mocha. I thought I'd picked the wrong pencil up for a second. See how that went sort of speckledy? I quite like it for the floor, but we can smooth this out an awful lot more with very little effort. So, I mean, if you don't have the ink tints, but you have watercolours, you could just mix up a watery brown that looks different to your others and pop that in. So I'm going to do round the stones like that. We're going to give round the wall some shadow. So I'm going in with the chalk tone. Okay. Though I must, when we finish this picture, I must pretend that I've been doing some adulting today. Like go and do a bit more tidying up and, you know, whatnot. Like make the bed might be a good plan. I've been very naughty today. But hey ho, after yesterday's stress with the windows, I figure I deserve a break. Okay, light mocha. And just spend a bit of time, like I'm going to smooth that over around there. And I quite like the fact that we've got then that different, look at those different tones in there. That's going to look so cool when I go back over and smooth all that colouring out. It's going to look so nice. It's a bit dark around there. And then gently bring that out. I mean, yours might not do that because it didn't do it on the other page, the other bits of the page. Push that in. Bit of that light mocha. Okay. Put that on there as well. Smooth that out. All right. I'm going to go and finish this off. And I'll come back. We'll do this gentle fade out like we did for the sky. And then we'll finish the sign and we will be done. All right, my beautiful friends, give me 1 second. Okay, guys, we are literally in touching distance of finishing, I promise. Now, I haven't decided whether to do the sign in the grey that we did the chimney and the tiles, like that, and then black stirrer and arrow, or the blue that we've got around the house. I don't know. So let's finish this floor together. I just want to fade it out with you. So literally, I'd used the chalk tone. I'm done with the chalk tone. Let's come in. I can't come up that far, so I won't fit on my desk. So I just watered it down to give me a really watery edge there. And the paper goes from a nice sort of rough texture to that very smooth, Eriy paper that we know. So it makes it very easy to colour on. So I'm taking my light mocha and I'm going to bring that out round this very patchy, watery bit that I did. And it actually works really well over that because it gives the ground texture. I quite like it. And because it's not a dark colour, it picks up all those different tones but just smooths it all out. So I really quite like that. Okay, so I'm just going to soften that off. Just the same as we did with the sky, really. And then I'm going to go in with that brown fog that we've used, our softest colour. Oh, give me one sec. Okay, sorry about that. I've just blended a little bit more of the chalk tone in to bring that out. And now, to fade it out like we did, I'm going to use that brown fog. Yeah, sorry about that. My dad popped in to see me. He often does, but not usually in the afternoons. But he popped in and he brought my mum with him. So we went and sat and had a cup of tea in the garden, which was really lovely. So, like we did for the sky up above, I'm going to bring that brown fog out. I'm going to use it to blend all that out. So I've got a little bit of a water line there, but I don't mind, that's fine. Just bring that brown fog out. And I don't think that we'll need the blender. I think the brown fog is subtle enough on this paper that we'll get away with. I'm not using the blender, we'll see, shall we? So what I might do is put a little bit more of the light mocha. Smooth this over a little bit. It's a bit too rough for my liking. So we just bring that bit more of that mocha in. And perhaps bring it like just over that water line. You see where I've got that darker line there. And then we'll pull out with the blender pencil. There we go, that's beginning to disappear. Let's go in with the brown fog. Yeah, that'll get rid of that line now. Bit of a water line. Nothing to worry about. And we just sort of bring that down in line with that wall. Let's get the blender pencil. Right, I'm going to make sure it's clean first. So the Derwent blender pencil. And I'm just going to pull that through. I hope you can see. So it's literally just a light scrubbing with the Derwent blender pencil like we did the sky. And just pull that through. And then let that fade out. There we go. Where are we? Okay. So I've got all sorts of stuff all over the place. Right, I'm going to leave that alone. I can finish blending off camera so that we're not here for a million years. Now, I have made a decision. I am going to do that in the grey, the same, similar as we did the... actually, similar as we did the chimney. And the reason for that is I want to keep that house its focal point. So if I introduce... if I put the blue over there... I just think it will take away from it. I don't know. That's my thoughts. So I'm going in with gunmetal. I'm going to go in with gunmetal. And then the little spoon, we can do black, I think. So there's our gunmetal. Then I'm going to use the charcoal. Yeah, charcoal. that around the edges. And bring it out. There we go. And I'm going to go back in with my gunmetal. Blend that through. Like this. What have I got stuck under there? Pencil stuck under there. There we go. And then a little bit of the flat black. Just bring out some of these little crinkles. We can make the little stirrer spoon flat black. And the arrow. Let's have the arrow. Black. I don't want it to take away from everything else. I just want it to sort of blend in with the rest of the picture and leave the magic potion standing out. Okay. Go back with a little bit of the charcoal. Just for a little bit more smoother blending. And then, folks, I think we're done. It's probably a very, very long video by the time I finish this. Okay, one sign done. Now, I'm going to take my black jelly roll and I'm actually just going to make that arrow stand out a bit more. Like that. And we're going to give it the... There we go. Little black dots to make it stand out. And I'm going to go over the magic potion lettering. I'm being brave. Magic potion. Okay, was there any other little bits that I've forgotten about? Not that I can see. I'm not going to add glitz and sparkle to it because I want to get this video up to you. And I honestly don't think that it needs too much of it. Let's try and centralise that. So I'm going to continue to blend this out just to smooth that through. And get that to disappear completely. But do a bit of blending there as well. Leave alone, Lucy, leave alone. But there we are. Our first mammoth colour with me in the wonderful romantic country. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you like how the page came out. I think if there was anything I'd change, I would do differently, it would be the green on the pots. I'm not overly keen on that, but it does tie the whole page together. So anyway, if you've got to this point, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so lovely to know that you're putting these videos out and all this hard work. There's hours and hours and hours that go into producing a page like this and getting those videos up to you. So thank you so much. It means the world to me. It really does. So before I go off on holiday, I've got another, hopefully 2 videos. I've got some beautiful gifts that I've been sent that I want to share with you. Along with that diamond painting, if you want to see it, that would be an extra video. And then maybe we can squeeze in a little colour with me before I go. All right, my lovely friends, I've waffled on and kept you long enough. So until we meet again in the next few days, take really good care of yourselves and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.